So Squid Game is a new show that has hit the television world, and it is now the most watched television show of all time across Netflix. And here we are today, we're going to talk about it, and I just have to say, this show is absolutely incredible. This first season of Squid Game was one of the best seasons of television I have ever watched in my entire life. Guys, I have no words. I have no words other than just to say that this show is everything that I loved everything about this show. This season of television, it's one of the best seasons of television I have ever watched, and I've watched a lot of shows, and I'm not going to go as far as to say that it is my favorite show that I've ever watched, but it is definitely up there. It is right up there at the top. I loved this season, and I am hoping to God that Netflix, please, if the time ever comes, because from what we know, the writer and the guy who's behind the story of Squid Game, he has come out and said publicly that he doesn't know yet if he is planning on doing a season 2. But if he does, Netflix, you better be there for him, and you support him, and you make sure that he gets that season 2 off the ground, because I will fully endorse hoping that we get another season of this great television show. We're going to talk about it today because there's so much I want to unpack with this show, and overall, I just have to say, I absolutely love that this show is taking a genre, and I personally see it as a genre, the Battle Royale genre, because I feel like nowadays we can consider Battle Royales as like a new genre of entertainment. Obviously, we've seen it done before, and in certain aspects, like Hunger Games, for example. Hunger Games, I feel, was the first series that kind of spawned the whole aspect of Battle Royale and made it more mainstream and more well known to the general audiences of the world, of what a Battle Royale is. Essentially, a Battle Royale is where a group of people, or it can be like 1v1. It doesn't matter the number of people. Obviously, it is based on a group of people fighting each other for just the ability to survive. And ultimately, the most of the time, in the end, it is always one person who remains. And this show takes that genre of Battle Royale, and it does something so fresh and new with it that my jaw was dropping on the floor every episode that this show has. Of all the 9 episodes that this show has, my jaw was dropped to the floor. The emotions were high. There were times where I legit had tears in my eyes. My eyes were swelling up, watery as hell, and I cannot believe this show did what it did with a lot of the stuff that it talks about, because there is also a lot of social commentary in the show that I really truly appreciate that they went and did and sprinkled in throughout the show, while also giving you the sense that there are these people who you are watching in the show are trying to survive and fight for their lives in all of these different games that they have to play. And of course, the synopsis or the plot of the show is basically that in South Korea, and of course because it takes place in South Korea, there are people who are basically in a lot of financial debt, and they have to go and play this game. They get called upon by this organization, and I think the organization, the name, I don't think that was ever publicly stated, but it is an organization of people who basically give these people a chance to win money. And at first, these people don't know what the money is for, or I'm sorry, they don't know what they're playing for. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know any of that. They just know that there is something involved in them maybe getting their lives back to normal. And as soon as the first episode ensues, I was blown away at what they were actually going for and what they were doing. And it's absolutely insane. It's crazy, and it is some of the most entertaining stuff and tension-filled action I have ever seen in my entire life. So much to the point where I was just like, this is genius. This is absolute genius from the writer and the guy who made this story. Who, of course, the story is that the main guy, the head guy, the writer who created the story of Squid Game, he, for the last 10 years, was trying to get this script taken up by a studio and a production company to help him get it off the ground. And for the last 10 years, nobody would take it up. Netflix finally came in, and they took him in, and they made this show. And wow, was that one of the best decisions that Netflix ever made. I have to applaud what this guy did. I really do. It is so genius and so just new. I think the best way to describe it is that it is so new and fresh, and even it just is much different than it is new. I just love how they go about sprinkling in all this social commentary filled in with the battle royale genre that is, fighting to survive and, doing all these things that are just, to a lot of people, just absolutely crazy. Just some of the craziest stuff you will ever see somebody try to do. And by the time we go through each episode from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 and so on, it just gets even crazier, and the stakes are even higher, and the tension grows even more. And that's what makes this first season of television of Squid Game one of the best seasons of television I think we have ever had in all of television history. It is the fact that by each episode that goes on and on and on, everything is raised a level higher. And that's what makes for a good show. If you are raising the tension, for example, again, because the tension in the show is very key. If you are raising the tension through each episode, if you are raising the stakes, it just makes every episode better, and it just makes the show even better. And I love how they went about doing it in very particular ways with many of the different types of games that they do, because there are 6 games that all these characters have to play. And by the time we get to the last and final game, of course, which I will not talk about because we're not talking spoilers here. This is non-spoiler, and maybe one day I will do a spoiler-filled review of this show and break it down a bit. But the finale, the season finale was just, wow, it got to me. I honest to God, the season finale of this show really got to me for season 1. I was not expecting them to do a lot of the things that they did, and by the time we got to the end, I was like, you know what? I need another season. I really do need another season. And so, with that being said, I also just want to finish off this review of sorts to talk about the cast and just the people behind the show. I am not going to try and pronounce any of the names of any of the actors, since I'm really not the best when it comes to names, especially I will not try and pronounce any of the names of any of the actors because I don't want to come off as if I'm being disrespectful in any way. So all the actors in this show are incredible. Absolutely incredible. There is not one scene in this show where I didn't believe any of the acting from these actors. They are all pitch perfect when it comes to the acting ability of every single one of them. From the main actor who plays the main character in Jihan, and then even to the other one of our more main characters in Sung-woo. That actor was amazing. And I have a general thought about the character of Sung-woo, who I have to say, I have a theory about that character, and it's not more so a theory, but it's more of just like an idealization or a generalization about why I think that character, the character of Sung-woo, why I think he might be one of the most perfectly written characters in television ever. I genuinely thought his character was so good. His character was so good, and the actor just made it even better. All these actors are so amazing, and there is even an actor in this show. Again, we're not talking spoilers. There is an actor who shows up in this show in a sort of, I wouldn't say cameo appearance, but I guess to somebody like me who is so in love with movies and all that, this actor makes there is an actor in this show that makes an appearance because of the fact that I hadn't seen this actor in so long, it blew my mind when it was first revealed who this person was. And I was like, wow, that is perfect casting. That is a perfect way to show it. And the actor, he's also a good actor. I love the actor. The actor is really good. Again, I will not say who it is, although I will say the last time that I saw him in anything was about 5 years ago. It was about 5 or so years ago, and even a little bit before that. So it's been a long time since I've seen him in anything. And I thought him showing up was just perfect. And so again, I have to give so much props to all the actors. The actors are another thing that absolutely make this show stand out. They are all amazing in this show, and they deserve every amount of love that they are getting right now. And so the final thing I want to talk about is the fact that I want to spend the last bit of this video talking about how I want to give South Korea so much props for what they have done for the television and film industry, because I don't think a lot of people are giving them their just the credit they deserve for giving us a lot of the great cinematic events that they have given us within the last 5 years or so. I mean, for God's sakes, we have now just gotten the greatest show in Netflix history in Squid Game, and arguably one of the best seasons of television that we've ever had. We got Parasite a couple of years ago, which is one of the more better films that we've had in recent times. And of course, that movie ended up winning Best Picture. It was the first foreign language film to ever win Best Picture, and it won so many other Oscars. That movie was great. I loved Parasite. And then we also got a film like Train to Busan, which is arguably, I feel like a lot of people will like to have the debate, but Train to Busan is arguably maybe the best zombies movie we've ever had. I love Train to Busan. Train to Busan is such a great film. It is so good. It takes the genre of zombies, the zombies genre, and it does something with it that ultimately it gives you so much more than I feel like a lot of other zombies properties have given us in recent times. That movie is amazing. And I feel like those are just 3 examples of how I feel South Korea, as the film in the film industry that they have over there, they just deserve more time in the spotlight. They need to be talked about because they are doing a lot more for this industry than I feel a lot of people give them credit for. They need to be talked about. They need to be heard. They need to get more of their stuff shown to the world. And Squid Game was just the next thing in line for us to see. And look, South Korea, whatever you guys have gotten next in store, I am going to be there for it. Just know I am going to be there for the next thing you guys put out. I cannot wait because you guys are so good at what you do. And again, this just goes to show, like, I really want another season. And look, to not be like a Debbie Downer in any way here right now, but if the writer, if the guy who created this story, if he feels as though he should go the Watchmen route and only leave it as 1 season and then 1 season only and make it a limited series, look, that is his decision, and that's how he feels the story should end. And I'm not going to bash him at all for that. If anything, I'm going to praise him for that, because he has made arguably, again, one of the best seasons of television we have ever had, and he should not hang his head down for doing that. He should be praised to the highest extent. People should be praising his name because I loved this show. And ultimately, again, if he feels that it only needs 1 season, then that's how he feels about it. And again, if he feels that there is a story for a season 2, Netflix, please take it in. You know you should. It is such a good idea. You have to do it. And so with that being said, everybody, I got nothing more to say about Squid Game Season 1. Again, there is a chance I might do another video again in the future about this show and kind of break it down even more, and also talk about the character of Sung Woo, because I might even give an entire video on just that character alone and how I think he's just one of the more perfectly written characters that we've ever had in television, because there's a lot about his character that I feel like not a lot of people looked at enough and realized what his motivations were, and kind of a lot of the things that he does throughout the show that I feel like a lot of people just missed. And so that's how I see where I could do down the line with more videos on this one show. And again, season 2, if it ever happens, I am there for it, and I cannot wait. Guys, thank you so much for tuning into this video. I greatly appreciate it. I want to hear all your thoughts down below about Squid Game season 1. What did you think about the show? Did you love it? Maybe if there are people who didn't like it, I want to hear both sides. And of course, I would like it to be respectful, be respectful about it. Talk with one another, have a conversation. I really enjoyed the show. I want to hear what you guys all had to say down below in the comments. And of course, if you like this video and you enjoyed it, please hit that like and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Turn on that notifications bell so it helps you keep up to date with my videos. And guys, thank you all so much once again. I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.